happen, and I won't let it slide. It's not the first time Justin will do such cheap tricks with poking eyes like those. His fight against Paddy will be his last. UFC is only for the real fighters, not the cheater.
Were you surprised by Paddy's game plan?
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him, he couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
Just curious, what did you think about Paddy's chin? Because a lot of people say Justin Gaethje is the hardest hitter they've ever faced.
Yeah, but Paddy got knocked out like 15, 20 times. Yeah, Justin was like 3 or 4 years ago, he was different. Now it's like he's getting old, and it's last a couple fights he got.
Paddy's heart, the grit of this kid. I don't care that he lost the fight. He comes back and murders like most guys.
Yeah.
Like anyone that doesn't have the grit. Like obviously everyone, like myself and everybody else, is worried about how much a fight like this takes out of you. But he's super young.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think he's young enough to bounce back from a fight like this and to turn it into a superpower moving forward. Because not many people survive Gaethje the way he does, the way he did, or like have moments of greatness late in the fight after taking the hits that he took.
That Scalzer does not get knocked out. Oh my God.
I just felt like I did enough. I just felt like I did enough to get the job done. Paddy is getting the beat out of him right now. It looks like, Jesus, this might not end well.
It was almost like he understood the assignment. We're on Paramount. There's a new network. There are going to be new fans. We need to introduce them to what the UFC is. I think after watching that, everybody that was tuned in are going to be lifelong fans of the UFC. Because on the special nights, there is not a sport in the world that can compare to the UFC, and tonight we have one of those special.
Right after what felt like a sudden implosion, once the noise thinned and the chaos finally bled away, the entire conversation snapped in a different direction. Nobody cared anymore about predictions, winners, or hypothetical endings. Instead, all eyes turned backward, dissecting how this long-awaited collision actually unfolded inside that unforgiving octagon. Long before fight night ever arrived, fans and analysts were violently divided, the tension splitting rooms and timelines alike. One side was convinced Paddy's relentless forward surge, his breathless pace and grinding pressure, would suffocate Gaethje and bend the fight to his will. The other side, just as loud, trusted Justin's icy calm, his surgical accuracy, and the raw weight behind every strike to crack the chaos wide open. What made it unsettling was how that same fracture in expectation echoed through the bout itself. Each exchange seemed to confirm one belief while betraying another. Every second landed differently depending on who was watching. Momentum felt fragile, perception warped, and judgment shifted in real time, forcing viewers and experts alike to question what they were seeing, as if the fight wasn't just happening in the cage, but inside their own heads.
Well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight, he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. You know, it's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I believe in, say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take.
Right before the first strike ever cracked the silence, the highly respected coach Tim Welsh dropped a sharp, almost chilling breakdown of the matchup. He immediately zeroed in on Justin Gaethje's eerie precision and his habit of doing real damage early, singling out those punishing calf kicks. The kind people barely notice at first. Not flashy, not cinematic, nothing like a highlight reel head kick. But that's the trap. Those kicks are deliberate, methodical, designed to chip away piece by piece until a fighter's base quietly collapses. Think about what happens when they start landing. They don't just sting. They sabotage balance. They scramble posture, steal confidence, and slowly drain mobility. Once that foundation begins to rot, everything else follows. The tempo drops. Reactions stiffen. Movements become heavy, predictable, delayed. Suddenly, exchanges that once felt chaotic start looking painfully readable, especially to someone like Gaethje. And in a fight where movement is compromised, his natural power becomes exponentially more dangerous. Opponents can't pivot when they should. They can't angle out. They can't escape cleanly. They are forced to stand where they shouldn't, and that's when every clean shot carries a darker consequence.
Unbelievable performance, Paddy the Baddy. Oh my God, he impressed the hell out of me. Incredible. He'll learn from that, but I tell you what, he's got what you can't teach. Heart, grit, determination, all that shit. Yeah, you can make tweaks. You can put the chin down, you can lift the hands up. What he showed tonight is that he is legit. The man is real, and that's for damn sure. He's at the hospital right now. He'll be fine. They're just checking him out. Gotta say,
this is where everything became dangerously complicated. Welsh pointed out that the moments placing Paddy Pimblett in the gravest peril surfaced precisely when he surged forward. Whenever Paddy launched into those explosive rushes, fueled by confidence and trademark bravado, his defensive discipline often lagged just a fraction behind the fury of his offense. And against a razor-sharp striker like Justin Gaethje, that fraction is lethal. In fights like this, a sliver of time can separate landing clean from being put out cold. That fleeting lapse left Paddy's chin momentarily exposed, suspended in space, inviting disaster as he charged headlong into chaotic exchanges. From Welsh's seasoned perspective, the equation was brutally simple and deeply unsettling. Justin needed only one perfectly timed, surgically accurate counter to detonate everything. One shot, clean and unforgiving, could erase all momentum, all strategy, and end the night without warning. In those split seconds, the danger peaked, hovering at its absolute maximum, where bravado collided with precision and a single mistake threatened to collapse the entire fight in an instant.
Grappling, and I felt that he deviated from the game plan, meaning that if I was in his corner, you're going to move. One, he's got to keep his hands up here. I like the traditional look where you can move, you can elbow, you throw your right hand, right, left, high kick, push kick. You're just way more, this is standard. This is like the best option. But I still feel like he deviated from the game plan where I think he felt that he was going to be able to knock out Justin Gaethje, and I just don't think Paddy Pimblett has that torque. Not saying he can't do it, I just don't think he has the torque to knock out a guy like Justin Gaethje, who's been in wars with guys like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's knocked him out. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier. He's been in wars with Eddie Alvarez. He's just been in a lot of wars on the feet. But when you look at some of the things that, Khabib did to Justin Gaethje, he made it look easy. He took him down,
This is where the fight becomes truly fascinating. Even with the constant threat of a fight-ending strike hanging over nearly every exchange like a loaded trap, Tim Welsh never once reduced this matchup to a simple striker versus grappler equation. And he was absolutely right. As rounds drag on, especially at the highest level of MMA, clean game plans tend to fracture and dissolve. Fights like this almost inevitably spiral into a beautifully chaotic storm of uncertainty. It turns messy fast, violent scrambles on the mat, grinding clinches pressed against the cage, and those brutally awkward transitions that sap energy and quietly seize control of the bout's rhythm. And here's the twist, those chaotic, exhausting moments are exactly where Paddy Pimblett has historically thrived. He possesses an uncanny ability to drag opponents into grueling sequences that drain the lungs and scramble the mind. Momentum flips there. He might look hurt. He might wobble, even falter for a heartbeat. But then, through sheer stubborn will and relentless pressure, he forges an opening out of nothing, clamps down control, and turns the entire fight on its head. Watching it unfold feels unsettling, almost unreal, like witnessing order collapse and be rebuilt by pure defiance alone.
Plan, okay, Gaethje was going to pressure fight him, walking down, guns blazing, turn it into a dogfight, and hopefully he outlasts Paddy. Okay, this whole game plan is banking on the fact that he knows he can take more, he can deal more, and he can capitalize on it later in the fight. Okay, because and to be fair, he's got legs to walk with that because he's done it time and time again. And round 3, we saw him be like, okay, I'm gonna take this round off.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna stay at mid range. I'm not gonna walk you down and just let you come back a little bit, try to build some energy. and everyone was worried. Like honestly, I saw like a glint of disinterest from Gaethje. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it was weird. But then round 4 just puts his foot back on the pedal, maybe knowing he's got 2 rounds left. Bar fight Gaethje. It was Gaethje of old.
This volatile, unstructured atmosphere is exactly why Tim Welsh ultimately framed the fight as one governed by the thinnest of margins. We're talking about a scenario where a single perfectly timed connection, a punch, a kick, could violently redirect the entire contest in a heartbeat. The danger never dipped. It hovered constantly, suffocating every exchange with the possibility of sudden collapse. Yet even with that ever-present threat, Welsh leaned ever so slightly toward Paddy, and not out of sentiment or style bias. His reasoning was colder, almost mathematical. Across enough simulations, enough branching paths where the fight could realistically wander, Paddy simply stumbled upon victory more frequently. But here's the unsettling part. Welsh openly admitted that none of those paths felt safe. None were clean. None were predictable. Every possible route was unstable, fragile, and riddled with risk. Paddy's success would never come easily or smoothly. It would be forged inside chaos, balanced on exhaustion, instinct, and stubborn survival. Still, in Welsh's eyes, Paddy's unique skill set granted him a marginal edge, not in certainty, but in volume. More doors cracked open. More chances to steal control. More opportunities to twist disorder into advantage, even if every step toward victory felt like walking on collapsing ground.
I don't want to look like a loser right now, but everyone saw I was better than Justin that fight, but the UFC wanted him to win. The lad smashed my eye with his finger. I had to play all of the rounds with a broken eye, which is not fair.
You saw him do it to Michael Chandler. He's taken on the highlight, Justin Gaethje. 26 wins, 5 losses, 20 KOs. The dude fucking KOs people. Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense fucking ball of muscle, built for fighting, 37 years old now. He's crumpled people with his left hook. He's crumpled people with his right hand. Paddy Pimblett is going to have to be very careful throwing his flurries on Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje will sit down and rip a left hook, or sit down, drop his head, and launch a right hand. That's Justin Gaethje's ways to win.
With every punch that snapped out and every kick that thudded home, the verdict fractured instantly, split clean down the middle. Watching it felt like witnessing two opposing philosophies of violence colliding in real time. One side insisted Paddy Pimblett's wild, unorthodox movement, fused with his deeply ingrained grappling instincts, would drown Justin Gaethje in pure chaos. They saw Paddy dragging him into ugly, uncomfortable stretches, forcing prolonged moments of strain far outside his preferred terrain. The other side stood just as firm, placing absolute faith in Justin's legendary composure, his fight-ending power, and the unnerving calm that defined his striking. From their view, every reckless surge, every scrappy exchange, was a debt Paddy would eventually pay for in pain. This fundamental divide transformed the bout into something electric and rare, where each collision felt heavy with consequence, as if it might rewrite the narrative entirely. The atmosphere inside the arena shifted on a dime. Analysts hesitated, crowds gasped, momentum swung violently back and forth. Neither fighter allowed the other even a second of comfort. No rhythm settled. No pattern held. The fight stayed razor-edged, teetering constantly, as if the story could fracture and reassemble with every single exchange.
Gaethje with the title around his waist, he earned it. Justin Gaethje's fought all these fucking monsters his whole goddamn career. Edson Barbosa, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Khabib, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Fiziev twice, Dustin Poirier again, Max Holloway. Like, holy shit, he's fought the elite. So I'd love to see Justin Gaethje get it done. If I had to put, this is hard. If someone gave me $10,000 to bet with, and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win. God. I'm going to say 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that Justin Gaethje knocks Paddy Pimblett out. Hits him on his chin. When Paddy Pimblett's flurrying, hits him right on his hits him right on the scouser chin. Bunk. Gets dropped. 40% chance, I think. 60% chance this fight, Justin's not able to find him. It's a little bit, it's like a spastic, weird style. He's not able to find his chin. If Paddy Pimblett puts him on his back, it's going to be a long night.
A deeper examination of Tim Welsh's breakdown reveals how relentlessly he framed this matchup through the lens of accumulated damage and merciless timing, always circling back to Justin Gaethje's obsessive use of calf kicks as a quiet but devastating weapon. Anchored to those early, fragile turning points, his core idea was deceptively simple and deeply unsettling in its implications. Early leg damage, the kind Gaethje specializes in delivering, doesn't merely hurt, it warps the entire structure of a fight. It compromises posture, strangles lateral movement, and, perhaps most insidiously, rewires defensive reactions the instant danger approaches. Welsh also stressed that Paddy Pimblett's aggressive surges, while central to his identity, paradoxically manufacture lethal opportunities for his opponent. A calculated, heavy-handed striker like Justin, armed with ruthless timing, needs only one clean window to violently flip the narrative. Yet this is where the real tension lives. Welsh openly acknowledged that as the rounds stretched on, the bout would almost inevitably collapse into disorder, spiraling toward chaotic scrambles and unpredictable exchanges. And that terrain, unnerving as it is, has long been Paddy's sanctuary. His confidence under fire, his grappling intuition, and his refusal to become harmless even from his back could all surface there. As Welsh ultimately framed it, this wasn't blind faith or reckless optimism. It was a calculated gamble, a high-stakes battle of timing and attrition, where vindication for either man would hinge entirely on a handful of brutal moments erupting at precisely the worst possible time for the other.
Will youth be served with Pimblett? Maybe. Gaethje, experience, good striker. He's well-rounded everywhere, but he's got to use the assets of a smaller guy. We've seen it, where you got to box, you got to use your legs, you got to set traps. You know, he's got the capability of doing that. Outmaneuver, outflank Pimblett. You know, Pimblett, let me tell you, he has improved a lot over the last 2 years. He really has, bud. He has gotten better. He's gotten more. You could see he's come into his own. Confidence-wise, physically, he's in great shape. They usually all are. But he's improved. His striking has improved. He's a good wrestler, grappler. But he loves to strike. That's what's going to make this fight really interesting and good. They're both going to strike. I mean, for the most part, they're...
A legendary boxing mind and longtime pundit, Teddy Atlas dissected this matchup like a seasoned battlefield general, and his insights landed with unsettling clarity. He relentlessly emphasized the absolute necessity for Justin Gaethje to prioritize intelligent footwork, precise positioning, and strict composure. Atlas warned against the temptation to stand planted and recklessly trade at close range like it was a chaotic street brawl or an old-school slugfest. That path, he insisted, would be a strategic failure. Gaethje's deep reservoir of experience only matters if it's deployed wisely, if he resists the pull of the crowd screaming for violence and refuses to get dragged into a reckless exchange for entertainment's sake. At the same time, Atlas gave Paddy Pimblett genuine and substantial credit for his evolution. He described Paddy as stronger, mentally steadier, and far more comfortable enduring long, punishing stretches of adversity. Atlas ultimately leaned into the idea that youth, raw energy, and fearless aggression can become powerful assets deep into a fight, especially once fatigue sets in and critical decisions begin to blur. From his sharp vantage point, Paddy showed a greater ability to subtly adapt round by round without losing his identity or cracking under pressure. That rare capacity to absorb damage, recalibrate mentally, and continue pressing forward, Atlas believed, could become a massive factor late in the contest, when everything slows, pain accumulates, and the smallest adjustments decide who still stands in the deepest rounds.
But I would go with the over on this, because I think the over-under is like
2.5 rounds.
How many?
2.5 rounds over minus 115.
All right, listen, again, we have a pretty good record here, but, you know, I mess up once in a while. I do. That's why it's gambling. But I like the over. I mean, if Gaethje fights the perfect fight, you never know. You never know. But I know who the judges are probably favoring. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. It shouldn't be anything about that. It should just be about what goes on in the cage or in the ring. But I can't help myself but think about things that I see. So maybe, you know, Gaethje would really have to do a job, I think, to get it, which he could. But I think I probably favor Pimblett a little bit. But at the end of the day, if I had to put my buck...
Indeed, Max Holloway, ever blunt and unnervingly perceptive in his analysis, stripped this intricate matchup down to one cold, ruthless question that cut through all the noise. Could Paddy Pimblett truly absorb Justin Gaethje's infamous fight-ending power without collapsing under it? The question sounds simple, almost crude, yet it drills straight into the terrifying core of what makes Gaethje such a lethal presence. From Holloway's season perspective, everything hinged on that single test. If Paddy could summon the raw durability and mental resolve to survive the initial storm, then he undeniably carried the primal tools to twist those nightmarish moments into grappling control and sudden, violent momentum swings. And at this level, those shifts don't take time. They erupt. They rewrite the fight in seconds. Holloway also made something else chillingly clear. Gaethje, unlike many fighters, never needs volume to change a narrative. He doesn't require accumulation. Every clean punch, every accurately placed kick, carries catastrophic potential. Each strike lands with consequences far beyond its surface impact. One perfectly timed blow is enough to erase an entire round of grinding effort, to vaporize strategy, stamina, and confidence in an instant. Before Paddy could even settle into rhythm or establish stability, a single crushing connection from Gaethje could detonate everything, abruptly ending all progress and reminding everyone just how thin the line truly was between survival and sudden devastation.
If he can eat it, I can see Paddy catching Gaethje and maybe almost like a Oliveira fight, you know. Catch Gaethje, hurt Gaethje wobble, and then, you know, get to Gaethje's back or something, maybe sub him. You know what I mean? Like, Paddy is very well rounded. You know, he out wrestled wrestlers, he out grappled grapplers. He stands with you. You know, he doesn't care. He throws. You know, everybody be like, his chin is in the air. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes shots and he still walks forward. How long will that last? We don't know. And that's the question I have to this fight. Or what his reaction is going to be when Justin Gaethje catches him. Justin Gaethje punched like a...
Ultimately, the relentlessly sharp-eyed Mirage Devilishi, famed for his unyielding speed and razor focus, so this entire contest as a genuine coin flip, a pure 50-50th gamble. He outlined two brutally clear, unforgiving paths for the fight, stressing there was virtually no middle ground, no compromise, no safe hedge. One scenario, Justin Gaethje methodically breaks Paddy Pimblett down, hammering with relentless, precise, and continuous strikes that erode stamina, confidence, and structure until Paddy can no longer function at the necessary level. The alternative, Paddy somehow absorbs the initial storm, survives the violent opening barrage, and drags the bout into those chaotic, exhausting grappling exchanges where momentum subtly shifts away from Justin, almost imperceptibly, until the change is undeniable. For Marav, the decisive factor wasn't just technique, both fighters clearly had the tools to win. No, it came down to raw resilience, the ability to endure pain without fracture, and the sharpness to make perfect, critical decisions under extreme, crushing pressure. His key insight was mercilessly simple: across potentially 5 punishing rounds, fatigue is inevitable, the body will weaken, and every strike leaves its mark. But the fighter capable of absorbing unrelenting punishment while still identifying the precise instant to strike back, to turn the tide with clarity, is the one who emerges victorious, the one whose endurance and intellect coalesce exactly when it truly matters, flipping chaos into triumph.